Hello and welcome to the mini and to the any. Today I wanted to talk about the four letters in the English language that can change the world, that do change the world. The lack of them changes the world, and the presence of them certainly changes the world. Those four letters are Love, love. One of the most important missing and misunderstood items in the world that especially recently has gotten lost in the fray of life and changes of culture and understandings and just the way we as a people evolve. It's not completely gone, but a lot of it's kind of getting mixed up. It's getting muddied. It's not as easily definable anymore, but its importance is still insanely high. It's still needed. People still need it. They need to feel loved. They want to feel loved. They have love to give out to other people, and if we can properly channel and display, show, and understand, a lot good can come of it. A lot good can happen. But one of the challenges that while we live in a world where love is sometimes defined wrong, and we run on that definition that is incorrect or insufficient or improper or whatever else it is, and even more so, it gets skewed, it gets perverted, if you will. It becomes less true. It's a lower form of true love, what true love really looks like. I'd always tell people it's not the commercialized St. Valentine's Day love that I believe in. I believe in the biblical love, the truest form of that. And that can be taken in so many ways. One of the things that a lot of people are missing is that self-love, having a love of who they are, knowing that they are loved and knowing what to look for, what love looks like, and to kind of see it as it goes. Everyone gets different things confused with love. They get confused with love all the time. They get lust confused with love sometimes. They get intrigue, they get favor, they get all these things confused with love, where there might be some small similarities, definitely a possible dopamine hit that happens that might feel like it might be true love or might be love in that moment. It's not the complete understanding. It's not really what love is. Those things could be good. Don't get me wrong. They could be good, or they can be good, and they are good. But at certain times, and when they're defined properly, when they have their proper ordering, that's when they're really good. And that's when love, the most important four-letter word in the world, comes into place. So where do we find it? How do we get a true definition of love, right? Do we go to the dictionary? Do we talk to our English teachers, or do we look somewhere else? And that is where I think we can find the easiest, simplest to follow, and least I would say the least advantageous or self-advantageous, or without any other biases definition. One that doesn't really seek to be self-serving for the person giving you the answer, but just telling you bluntly of this is what love is. And that's in the scriptures, that's in the Bible. And then for one of the best places, in my opinion, to find love defined out bluntly, I would go to 1 Corinthians. So first, 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4, the whole chapter 13 is really good. It talks about how we can do all these amazing things, but without love, it's really not anything at all, right? We can, like, the first lines is talking about, if I can speak in human and angelic tongues but do not have love, I am a resounding gong or a clashing cymbal. I'm just noise. I think a lot of us have fallen for that just noise. We kind of got so caught up in the noise of it all, or the vanity of it all, and the truest love deep down that's not there, we don't bother to look at. It's like kind of we're stuck with that superficial. Love is many things, but I don't think it's superficial. Actually, I'll read on, skimming down a little bit to verse 4. So 1 Corinthians 13, chapter 13, verse 4 says, the most amazing definition of love. And this is for people across the board, whatever, belief system you have. If you are looking for a simple and easy to follow definition of love, this is the one that I encourage everyone to adopt. For people who are, are Christian believers, perfect. This is definitely for you. But for the non-believers or for the non-Christian, this I would say would be for you too. So verse 4 starts with, love is patient. Love is kind. It is not jealous. Love is not pompous. It is not inflated. It is not rude. It does not seek its own interests. It is not quick-tempered. It does not brood over injury. It does not rejoice over wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. From there, it goes on to like talk about how, like, when we grow even more mature, from St. Paul talking about like when he, growing into that, right? Everything takes growth, right? It talks about when I was a child, I used to talk as a child, act like a child, but now that I'm a man, I talk like a man, think like a man, act like a man. And that shows like the growth. There's growth that has to happen. It's not just going to, flick the switch. But if we can kind of know what we're looking for. So again, when we go out to define love and when we go to look for it, we can do a quick test, especially for ourselves. Like, do I love myself enough? That does not mean, am I spending $300 on, I don't know, shoes or some car or anything? That's not what it means. When you mess up, are you patient with yourself? When you have that inner monologue with yourself, are you kind? Do you get jealous over things? Are you pompous? Are you inflated? Are you rude even to yourself? That self-love, we can show straight into ourselves. We can reflect all these questions. Are we quick-tempered with ourselves? Do we get mad at ourselves so quickly? And on top of it, we can then reflect it onto others and how other people treat us. With your significant other, your parent, your friends, whoever, is that person patient with me? Or am I patient with that person? If the answer is no, then, someone needs to work on that love for that person. Especially if it's coming from you, that means you need to work on that more. Love is not easy. I notice how it never says anywhere in there it's easy. Love is where the work comes in. Love is patient. Patience usually comes from times where you need to be patient. It has to happen. You have to be patient because something is not going the way, that just makes it easy to deal with someone. You got to be patient for them. Love is kind. It usually the people you have to be kind to, it takes time and effort. It is. Notice the is in there. It is going and doing all those things. Mathematically, when you use the word, when you use is in a sentence, especially like a word problem, is the equal sign. It's not the equation, it's the equal sign. So love is equal to patience. Love is equal to kindness. It is not jealous. It's not equal to jealousy. It is not equal to pompousness or inflation. It's not equal to being rude. Now there's an even higher form of like discussing this love, and we could go a little bit into that today, but we can go further into it at another time, of where God is love. The most core part of who he is love. God is love, and love is God. Being of God, like God is too. And for my people searching for a higher being or trying to understand a higher being, these 4 words can help better change the way in which you can understand a great God. So remember how I said love is God? If you were to replace these words with God instead, we'll just do the first few. And remember that God is patient. God is kind. God is not jealous. God is not pompous. God is not inflated. God is not rude. I want to key in on that middle one though, because while God might not be jealous, in terms of he's not jealous of you doing well or you doing some other things and loving like that, he is a jealous God in the fact that if you put someone on his level, he doesn't like that. Okay. That's why in the commandments, it says to keep God first. It's not saying that you can't have other 2, 3, 4s, but to keep God first. So we know what love looks like, and we could also kind of figure out what love doesn't look like. So when you're in situations where someone is very impatient with you, that is not love. When someone's very unkind to you, that is not love. When someone is very jealous of the way in which you go talk to this person over there, and the fact that you took 10 minutes at the store when you said you take 7, they're jealous of like the time you spend, that is not love. When people are pompous, right? And then we're really talking about like relationships, but when people are pompous, that is not love again. Being rude is not loving someone. Now, if we can understand these things, and I'm not saying that we have to change our lives 100%, but I am saying that once we understand that we need to put more love into the world, hey, if you don't know that now, when will you? And you should always. Actually, I'll give it to you. Right here's your freebie. Everyone always needs to put more love into the world to make the world a better place. It's not just going to sit and always be greater. There's a natural order of things. We have to keep working and keep producing, keep moving forward, keep loving forward. So we have to put more love into the world. How do we go about that? How do I go out into a world where people are divided in all ways? How can I love someone who I don't agree with? Or how can I love someone who doesn't have the same political view or understanding how am I supposed to love that person? You can just start with that first sentence of verse 4. Love is patient, love is kind. You can go out there, disagree with them patiently, and you could disagree with someone kindly. And that is what the world needs. Just a little more patience and kindness in the world is what we need. I know that it's never a one size fits all scenario, but in this case, it's as close as we might ever get. In most cases, love will always boil down to patience and kindness for other people, patience and kindness for yourself. When you're having a rough day and you're at the end of your rope with yourself, be patient and kind with yourself. Take a break. Be patient for things to turn around the next day. Be kind. Just let certain things just roll off your back. Love is patient. Love is kind. It is not jealous. It is not pompous. It is not inflated. It is not rude. It does not seek its own interests. It's not quick-tempered. It does not brood over injury. Notice how it says all the things it doesn't do, but always starts with it's patient and kind, and ends in the fact that it rejoices with truth and bears and believes through all these things. It bears, believes, hopes, and endures. It does the tangibles, the quick, right off the bat things you have to work for. It denies the reactions, the knee-jerk reactions. and it sits with the long-standing hopes and beliefs. So I hope you have a better understanding of the 4 letters that do change the world. It really does. How you can enact it and implement it just a little bit better. And I hope you do. I hope everyone does, because that's what the world needs more of. Until next time, take care.